Hi, hello, and welcome to whatever the show is going to be called whenever we figured it out. Some connections about love or relationships and all that other good gooey stuff that we're going to talk about. My name is Kendall Lube. I am a Twitch streamer, father of 3, husband for 11 years, been dating for 13, and screwed up plenty of relationships to figure out what love is about. And today I'm joined, as always, with my co-host,
Adam Ayala,
Adam.
psychotherapist. And let's see, you
We'll get
catch
the
us
beats
down
down
in
later.
we'll get the beats down later. Psychotherapist, you catch me down on the Discord. I don't know how to introduce myself, but I know how to listen very well. But anyway, we're gonna hit up a new question. I know we answered a question on Daniel. I hope you guys go watch that episode because we talked for quite a while to Daniel. I feel like we were like two fathers to this guy. Oh, that's another thing.
David.
Or David. Daniel.
David, don't get our fake names confused here. Daniel might be somebody else, and he'd be like, "I don't know who you're talking to."
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. You know what it is? Oh, we're talking about Daniel right now. That's what happened.
Daniel now
with the sex count.
Danny.
Whew. All right,
oh,
guys.
Well, yeah. Hit me with this question.
All right. So he says, "Hey, fellas. I'm a 27-year-old male who just got out of a long-term relationship about a year ago. I've only had one sexual partner, and I get a lot of advice from guys that need to go plow through a few women before settling down, so I know what I like sexually and to build my self-esteem. It did kill me when my relationship of 10 years collapsed, but I'm not in a bad spot. I have a well-paying job, I'm not fat, and I don't have any emotional problems. Okay. Do I need to go sleep around as some kind of rite of passage, or is it fine if I just seek and be selective about who I want to sleep with? I'm not a prude, and I'm not looking to wait till marriage, but I just don't want to give I just don't give a damn about sleeping around. I'm busy creating a life, and most of these girls are just distractions. Also, I always identified as a feminist, but a lot of the women who flock to me are girls who are in their mid-20s to early 30s, who all tell me that they've had their fun and now want to settle down. You know, people can do what they want, but is it wrong for me to look for someone who is more like me when it comes to a count, or does a woman count even matter? Does a man's count even matter? Thanks.
So I love this whole like rite of passage sentence. Yeah. That is my favorite I was like, do we get shirts? Are there going around? Like, do I become king?
Yeah.
Conquerors? Like, rite of passage for who?
He's talking to a lot of dudes. That's what's
There's
happening.
There's a lot of dudes out there who got this whole like American Pie movie feeling that like you have to have sex before prom. Like, no. Let me hit you with this real quick. Let me make sure that I'm clear. No. The idea that you're in a relationship for a very long time and that you break off that relationship, okay, for whatever reason, you just weren't feeling it, this isn't for you, regardless of the time, you're now past that point. You're now single. You are free to be free. You don't have to plow through girl after girl. Let me give you a little bit of background on me. I was that guy. So here's the thing. I was in a 3-year relationship in high school, which the girl on again, off again cheated on me, but I kept going back for more because I was a young, nerdy high school dude who was like, hey, I really like this girl. We're still friends. We still communicate. But she kept cheating on me. She kept leaving me. And then we finally got to a point where we cut it off. I finally got healthy enough to be like, we are done. And then I got into another relationship, which was really good. It was a good 3-year relationship where there was communication, there was talking, but she wasn't sexually active, and I wanted to be. So we just went through the 3 years, but everything was still good. There was still communication. There was still, these feelings that we could talk to each other and have a good relationship. But we hit a point in that relationship where we were just like, what do we want going forward? And we just couldn't agree. So we split off. Literally the night that we split off, I immediately dove into bed with somebody. it was one of those like, oh, this like crime of passion. We just happen to be in the same place, same time, star-crossed lovers. I go through the first girl, we move on. I go to the next person a couple weeks later, and it just is one of those things where I got the term that I was very much a hooer.
Okay.
It's not that like I was like, yes, I can get any woman I want.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like I just happened to be in a place at a time, and somebody else was happened to be at a place at a time. We started to get into one night stand after one night stand, whatever it was, until the kind of the point where I got with a girl who I thought would be like another one night stand, who turned into an actual relationship. That ended up actually breaking my heart about it, because it was like, oh, she wanted to use me as a one night stand. And I was like, oh, this is not okay. Like, what I've been doing is wrong. And so then I kind of got into building a relationship, which was talking, communicating, and really building something with somebody who then turned out to be my wife, where it became a regular thing. That's more of the close background for me doing what I do. Now, to get into Daniel's question here about, should you go out and just conquer women, like plow woman through woman? No, absolutely not. What you need to do is focus on you and let time pass. Now, you are well off. What are your goals? What are your goals in life? Not what are your work goals, not what are your friend goals. Like, what do you want to accomplish in your life? Do you want to go out and do work and do good work and create better things? Sooner or later, somebody comes along in your path of life who you will talk to, and then you will start to form a relationship and build something that you want to build. You might have the same 10-year relationship, but come to that crossroad that says, I want to continue further. Or you might go to this 10-year relationship that you just ended and go back to it and be like, oh, this was the thing we were missing. It's one of those things that I feel Daniel is getting bad advice from friends who are like, forget that girl. What does she know? We never liked her anyway. Whatever. You're like, now you're free. You get to be free.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like, don't listen to what your friends are telling you, because your friends want you to just plow through whatever woman because they want to live vicariously, because they can't plow whatever woman.
Probably.
I
Yeah.
will refrain from this point further on from saying the word plowing women.
Yeah. Well, we're using his words for that one just to make the point. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, let's see. I mean, you don't have to, I'm not going to say absolutely not, but like for what, for what? But, and I think he also said that you're busy, and you're right. You're a little bit too busy. If you're making something of yourself, you're 27, you're getting into your 30s. Yeah. Just keep doing what you got to do. Just think, if you're going after women who are going to be really easy and that's all they care about, they just want to have sex. I mean, and you're looking for a relationship, you're looking at the wrong women. These aren't women that are going to be around. And if you wife one of them, why would they stop what they're doing the whole time? They're just out to have fun. They're going to have fun, and they see you with some money, they'll take advantage of you, and then move on to another guy with half your shit. Like, that's a risk if you take your buddy's advice. Fun has a cost. So I would go take care of yourself. But his question, I think I know where his question is coming from. It's coming from like the red pill manosphere idea, right? Where they talk about pair bonding science, right? So I was looking a little bit into the pair bonding science. I'm going to probably bring way more papers for us to read or do that, because there's a lot of neurology in it. But
By all means, science me up, psychoanalyst.
Yeah. Let me science you up here. So let me see if I can share this with everybody.
You have the doctorate. I have a GPA somewhere.
Almost. So you're seeing this, right? This article. Yeah. Okay. So I actually found this article. I'm gonna link it down below in the video that he linked me, where it was talking about this. Is from, I think the YouTuber is called Entrepreneurs in Cars, and I know this guy, and I actually I appreciate his videos.
Oh yeah.
So entrepreneur and cars
What's that
post
Pornhub tab at the top there?
Pornhub, you know,
I'm
whatever.
kidding. I'm kidding. Go on. Go on.
No, this is, you know what?
Wait.
I'll show everyone here. So this is where. Okay, does it even let me link? Oh, I
Two
can't even.
dogs, one cup. That's a weird one.
Yeah, right now. So these are like actual articles I was looking at to talk
Mhm.
about pair bonding, but they're not there now. So, so I'll link the video down below, and this is I think his name is Richard. So I'll recommend you guys go look at this video on his channel. Was looking at this this study here. But this is not a study. This is a blog that talks about studies, right? So does sexual history affect marital happiness? This is kind of interesting article. One thing I want to say is that this is all on. This is a survey, so surveys are not very reliable. So you know, you take it with a grain of salt. So here, this is what they're showing. So in this graph, they're showing the percentage of married adults who report one lifetime sexual partner by marriage. So in the 20s, it was really high for women and men, and then plowed down. And actually, during the sexual revolution, after it went up. Kind of interesting, but a whole other topic. So let's go down here a little bit more. So women's number of lifetime sexual partners and the chances of being very happy in one marriage. So I couldn't find the actual survey, but I'm gonna imagine it was very happy, happy, neutral, not happy, and very dissatisfied, right? That's probably a 5 prong. That's like pretty normal.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah. So it shows that a woman who has one partner is 64% likelihood of reporting that she is very happy in a relationship, compared to a woman who has 21 partners is 57. And at the lowest, it happens to be women who had 6 to 10 partners that were 52% likely to report being in a very happy marriage.
Mhm.
And what was interesting here, you see this line for divorce. So there's the second relationship, or
Yeah, but it's like very half and half. Like if you're 64% good, but you're 64% divorced, like
No. So 60, no. So yeah, this is the problem where they didn't give us all the data. So 64% said very happy.
Mhm.
So I actually couldn't find the percentage of what is the other, 30 something percent. Is it like only 1% are very dissatisfied? But they talked about it here. I'll have to find it again. But those who had over 10 partners were 3 times as likely to be very dissatisfied. They didn't show it in the graph, but they talked about it, which, okay, fair enough. Okay. So here in this graph, it actually didn't matter if you're in your second marriage, like one partner. I don't know how you have one partner in your second marriage, but that's here. Or you had 2 partners, second marriage, it's the same. For money, kind of kept it the same. And if you're religious, it didn't make you any happier. Okay, for women. And so the lowest is at 52% for women who had 6 to 10 partners, and the highest saying very happy is at 64. So it's a 12% difference, right?
Yeah.
And reporting very happy. So we'll look at guys. So guys with one partner are at a 71% say very happy. So guys are generally just happier to be married. This data is showing.
Yeah.
And then I think the lowest here, what is it? Guys who had 11 and 20 partners, they're at 58% to say that they're happy. So 58, 69, so 13% difference, right? So Richard in Entrepreneur Cars was saying that the more partners a woman has, the less happy she is. That's true, but it's actually 1% truer for men.
Mm-hmm.
Women is a 12% gap, and then for men is a 13% gap. But men are higher once they're just happier in general. So men's highest is 71, and men's lowest is 58, where women's highest is 64, and their lowest is 52. So
See,
it's like,
here's the thing about this whole study, because I read through this article.
yep.
I want to know the correlation to causation,
Boom.
And this
You
is
got
the
it.
biggest thing where, like, what is the reason why you're not happy? Like, is it because XYZ? For me, my prediction, this is nothing, like, this is what they're saying. If I had to guess, the reason that more people would be unhappy in a relationship where it's like you've gone through so many partners and now you're in a marriage where you're with somebody, it's because you have a bigger baseline to base your relationships off of. where somewhere in that relationship where you have more people to kind of sample, like imagine a buffet.
Yeah.
All right, you go walk down the buffet, you pick your food, and you get to pick whatever food you have, and you get to like 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit number 6, you're like, yes, 6 is delicious. I love fucking 6. That's the best. Oh, excuse me if we're not swearing or not on this
I would
podcast,
go for it. Yeah.
but like you hit number 11, you're like, all right, I've gone through most of the buffet. This one is really good. I don't remember. I can't have 6 again. Like, but I'll go with 11. Like, I don't know if that would be the sampling where it's just like, I miss having the chicken teriyaki, but now I'm stuck with the Mugu Gai pan.
Yeah.
It's like, is that the reasoning? Having that many partners or something like that, it's one of those things where correlation and causation don't necessarily match up that I can tell in this survey.
Yeah.
Now for Daniel, it's one of those things where I'm not going to tell him to not go out and be sexually active with people, with women, whatever he wants to do. It's really one of those things where let communication and finding whatever you need to find at the time be the right thing for you. The relationships that I ever had where I did sleep with women, it wasn't a conquest thing. It wasn't like, yes, I'm going to plow this girl and now I'm going to go next year. I got a redhead, I got an Asian, I got a blue net, just go through everything. No, I genuinely loved and respected and really did want to form a friendship and a relationship with those people who I felt giving the ultimate intimacy that you can give. That's why it's called being intimate.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of forget that, where you go out and you find people who are like, yes, I do want to give my physical being to you, because let's face it, we're also giving like the idea that you want to see me naked.
Okay. Yeah.
You're cool with that. Let's imagine I don't want to see me naked.
Turn off the lights.
I'm like, wait a second, shut off the lights, close your eyes, just feel around. Whatever that is, don't worry about that. That's fine. I'll get that looked at next week.
Yeah.
But you want to be with a woman. It's just one of those things where it's not like, I want to go out and have sex and get off. Doop-a-doo. No, you want to go out. If you're like, man, it's been a while since I've, really been intimate with somebody, or I've really been physical with somebody, and I need to get off, like there are so many men, and at the same time, there are so many women who also want the same thing, who they also want to do what you're doing. Like they want to have a night where it's just like, I just want to have sex. I just want to get off. Whatever happens, and we just move on. But it's one of those things where it's like, should you go out and be like, hey, I'm going to go and conquest and go through whatever I can go through as fast as possible? That's like driving a car at like 120 miles per hour in a suburban area.
Yeah.
Like, you're safe for this road, but what about the next road? It's just one of those things that you don't want to do. Happiness would come from finding your own happiness in the whole grand scheme of things. And if you're going through as fast as possible, you're going to speed past your part of the buffet that you really like and just move on to the next one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like I said, this is a survey, so it's not the best. And it's also, you can't really study this in real life either, because we can't maybe we will be able to next few years, since everyone puts all their crap up on the internet, and we'll have a videotape on everyone all times. So give it like 10 years. Maybe we'll have an actual good study for this, but all we can do is surveys. And one of the big problems is a lot of people are going to lie. They're going to up their numbers. They're going to down their numbers. That's the problem with the survey. But we can say generally, right? And there's generally, we can say like someone who would be more promiscuous, we have to take into account personality types. what is their likelihood of being more likely to commit adultery, right? Because that's what really breaks down a marriage. That's one of the main things that breaks down a marriage, right? There's some people who could be promiscuous and they get in a relationship and it doesn't matter and they're done and they're not going to cheat, and some that can't, right? I think we were
Yeah.
talking about this before with what was it, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, with
David.
Daniel. Or David. Yeah, gosh.
All these D
I wish they didn't
names.
have all these D names. Yeah. Yeah, but we're talking about that before with him.
Yeah.
Like she's probably not going to stop and it's going to end badly,
Yeah.
So it's a tell, right? It's telling, it's information for you to know. She's like, oh, I've been with 700 guys. Well, that makes a difference. 701 makes a difference. That means something. But you're gonna have to really feel that out.
Yeah.
But at 700, I'd be like, that's a red flag. That's a bit.
And let me be clear about this. If you're looking for somebody and you're like, oh, she's more promiscuous, that means she must be good at sex. That's a no.
Yeah, no.
Like, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. This is not a sport where you can practice.
Yeah. That's a big misconception in life. There's this, well, we'll talk about this next time. I'll find an article for you to read. There's this concept called the zipless fuck, where it talks about promiscuity and how it's actually very, very shallow. There's no depth in it. So those who are, there was this correlation between those who are more promiscuous actually aren't very good at sex whatsoever, but two people who have been together for a long time and actually work on the sex and intimacy, they actually have better orgasms, longer orgasms, more intense orgasms, more sex, longer sex. And it was this whole other thing, which when you think about it in a biological sense, that makes sense because, the woman wants to keep the man to, until the kids are, 18 plus, and the man wants to stay with the woman and keep her satisfied so he's not raising someone else's kids. I mean, from an evolutionary standpoint, but also from just a human standpoint, like the deeper you have a bond with someone else and you guys are actually healthy enough, you're going to have more sex and better sex. That's just why until the marriage goes to shit, people in marriages have way more sex than people who are single. Even if they have all the availability in the world, they just have more sex. They're more experienced with sex.
Yeah, try to find me the time. I have three kids, man. They are every which way.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Kids know. That's the same. We're trying to take this within this really narrow survey. We're not even taking into consideration so many other factors that come into why there's, if count matters. So we can say probably. We'll say probably, right? It means something, but I don't know what it means. The evidence isn't conclusive from this, right? We have some data, right? It showed this evidence. Okay, let's see where we can find some more. And that's what I'm doing. I'm looking for some more. But I took out this study because this is the study that he looked at and said, oh, well, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it brings up some good points and it brings up some good things to question. I just think that if you're going out and I'm going to put myself in an empathetic mode here where I'm like, I've just got out of a long relationship and I'm free now. Like, I can go date whoever. I can go be with whomever. Yeah, you can totally go out and just hop on Tinder, hop on your whatever, and do your swipe left and get with somebody and do whatever you want to do for tonight. I'm not gonna tell you not to. I mean, if you want to build a relationship, it's going to come from an area where I don't say you want to build a relationship. It's one of those things where it just happens. It's a connection that you kind of, walk past and you say, oh, this was a thing I really liked. I want to talk to this person more. And you just kind of slowly build, never really rushing into these things, because the second people want to be in a relationship and they try so hard that they grab everything they can to like, oh, I need to be in a relationship. I need to be in a relationship right now. Like, we need to be together. Like, that's where like rushing and forcing your ideas on other people, it never works out.
Yeah.
And so if you are like, hey, I'm going to go out and just be me, and women are like, hey, I'm going to have sex with just you, just let that happen. Just kind of go with it. Just kind of be relaxed about it. Don't look too deeply into these things. And then if things are like grooving and being okay, and you're with one particular woman who's like, hey, this was really fun, and you're like, yeah, it was, like, let's just
Yeah.
talk, and whatever you want to do, just communicate.
Yeah.
And then you just continue on, and maybe you'll build another relationship 3 girls in to your plowing. And I
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
Daniel, good on you, but
Yeah.
make sure that the other girl, good on you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel, I mean, this is a complicated, this one survey isn't going to do you justice. I mean, what this survey said is that men are happier to be in relationships than women. Men take a 13% hit on their happiness, and women take a 12% hit on their happiness with promiscuity. I think both at 6 to 10 partners or so. And so the general trend is for men and women, they're very less likely to say very happy on a survey. I mean,
I
so
hate
take it,
surveys.
and it's like, take it, it's data.
Yeah.
It's interesting, it's useful, and it doesn't go completely against what you would subjectively think, but don't take it as gospel. We this is the best that we know from this study. I'm sure, and also we'll get into pair bonding and the neurology of it too,
Mm.
which does matter, which will also back up this data in a way where it's harsher on women pair bonding than men pair bonding in a chemical sense and neurological sense. That's out there too. We're not presenting it today, but it's not the end all be all. But just be careful. The main thing is you got to look at a woman's personality, right? Just like a woman has to look at a man's personality. Is this meant so for you? Is this woman most likely gonna be cheating on me in the future? Or is she using me for my money or status, all that? That's more, look for that. If she said I slept for 400 guys, yeah, that's a red flag for that, right? Well, what's going to stop her for the next 400? It's a free country. She can keep doing that even if she's married. It doesn't freaking matter, you know? So just don't make it as like, oh, this girl, oh, the graph says, oh, 4 people she slept with, so 62%, so I'm not dating her. Like, don't do that either. Like, you got to take it easy. But this is the question I want to get to with him a little bit more. I want to see what you got to think about that. So he
Okay.
says, also, I've always identified as a feminist, but a lot of women who flock to me are girls who are in their mid-20s and early 30s who tell me that they've had their fun and now want to settle down. I'm going to be super direct about this. If someone says, oh, I want to be with you now because I've had my fun and I want to settle down, I would just walk away.
Yeah. Well, because the way that it is like, oh, I've had the rest. No. I guess you're fine. I mean, you got
Yeah.
your shit together. We can
Yeah.
be together now.
Yeah.
That's not like, this is not a relationship that you want to start building. I mean, there's ways of working this around where it's like, I want to build a relationship. If you're not ready for a relationship, you're not ready for a relationship. You're not ready to be like, all right, you want to settle down. I'm not ready to settle down. This goes into the communication that we had off screen, where it's like communication is key for a lot of things. You want to kind of put in what your feelings are to the whole thing and be very clear about what your feelings are to the whole thing. Like, you want a one night stand? Make sure that you're like, hey, I'm not looking to marry you tomorrow. Like, let's see where this goes. Like, you're really setting yourself up if you're getting with these people though who are like, I kind of want to just get with you. Like, I've already done my fun. Let's have babies. You're like, just easy. Like, we can maybe let's see where this goes, and maybe you want to feel differently, but you don't want to be like, okay, yeah, sure, let's immediately come move in. Let's immediately go and have a child and get married within like a year and a half, and see everything is
maybe in the 60s, maybe.
yeah. Let me
50s,
go build the white picket fence.
yeah.
Let me get a dog. Let's the first one will be little Daniel, and we'll have a girl, and her name will be Danielle, and it'll be perfect. We'll be a Norman Rockwell home.
Yeah.
No,
that doesn't happen. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure someone will be like, well, I did that. Yeah, it happens,
it
right?
happens.
But like that's not happening in a big city, right? In the 6 big cities, would be way less likely to happen than in like rural Utah, right? I mean, two different places. Yeah, but the thing is, it's just like, listen, if a girl comes to you and says, "Oh, I've had my fun and I want to settle down now," so the question would be like, "So we're not gonna have any fun? Like now you've gone out, you've traveled, you've had sex, you've done all the fun stuff, and
Yeah, what
now
am I,
like,
chopped liver?
what the fuck? Am I here just to be your plow horse now? You know,
Yeah.
because that's what she's saying, and you know, so you walk away from that immediately, right? Because you're just her plow horse. That's what she's looking for, right? And you're saying from these mid-20s to 30s. Okay, now you know you walk away from that. It makes it really easy. Those women take themselves out of your life like this. You walk away from that.
Yeah, but Adam, you're forgetting the important question here. Is she hot?
Who gives a crap?
You know, every dude is gonna be like, "Wait a second,
I mean, like,
was she hot, bro? Like,
nah, bro.
you mean to tell? Come on, man. Like, she had like
Listen,
double G's, and now it's like blah. You know,
let's just be honest. If she was hot and this is what she's doing, and all you're gonna do is have sex with her and leave, imagine how many times that's happened to her before, right?
exactly.
And imagine just how that might just might hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And if that's happening to her over and over again, that really hurts her. Just thinking from a woman's standpoint, like that's got to be shitty to deal with all the freaking
time.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, so you know, you're thinking from that point too. You know, do you really want to be part of that? You're gonna be another guy that she's talking about in therapy. You know, because of this crap.
Yeah, you're the next guy. I was like, well, I thought he had a good job and he wanted to settle down and he just finished up this relationship. Like, no.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Oh, no. That's a woman you definitely 100% just avoid. Not even a coffee date. Well, you might figure it out on a coffee date, but you know.
Yeah, because those are the kind of girls, they kind of have to figure out themselves. Where if you have to go to them, it's kind of like, this is a self-confidence thing for you. It's like, yes, you've had your parties, you've had your fun. You kind of have to figure out what you actually want, because now you're saying, hey, I want to settle down, but you're trying to force yourself into another relationship to be like, this is my calm down time. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You as the girl on that want to just kind of like ease into whatever happens.
Yeah, and Daniel, think about it. Like, as far as we know, you're kidless. You have the job. You're moving up on life, right? Let's just be honest. You're in 27 now. Well, 5 years, you'll be 32, 33. You're just, you know, you're still not fat. Hopefully by then.
Hopefully.
Like even at 32, you can be with a girl who's 25 and it's like, I want to have fun with you and build a life. I mean, that would be, you're giving her your best. She's giving you her best. And then like you just build a life together. I mean, that's an actual option you can have in today's society, which is very different than 2 generations ago. You know, like there's a ever evolving world out there. It's not the stuff where what's not successful anymore is what used to happen, where people used to get together at 20 in college and then build a life and die together. That's not what's as successful anymore. You know, we've had feminism happen, we've had dating apps happen, we've had more connected, people having more options, right? There's a lot of grass greener and the other side crap that happens. It's a completely different world. What our parents did doesn't work as well. It's not the right strategy. And I'm speaking more in a bigger city, right? A lot of those factors are different in Alabama to Utah to Illinois and Chicago.
Not to say that it can't work, but it's not
the
always.
Lower. It's lower likelihood. It's just a lower likelihood. And it's hard for a guy to know, because the millennials, Gen Zs, we're like in a weird transition stage. I mean, a lot of millennials grew up with no internet and then had the internet as teenagers, and Gen Zs are the first generations to really grow up fully on the internet. We have no idea what's happening to our brains. We have no idea what the mass availability of any pornography. It's not just like going to your dad's room and finding like, oh, you know, I think we can watch any pornography.
You know how hard it was for me to find porn as a teenager? It was intense, man. You had to wait for hours, like days. We had to carve stuff on cave walls.
Yeah.
I have a DVD in the back that still has all of my old porn. And
Yeah.
it's insane that you had to go to those lengths. And then I go to my dad and he's like, well, I had to go down to the local CVS or whatever and steal it from the back. You're like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
cavemen.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out what you mean by the feminist thing. I mean,
I'm a feminist. Like, what?
I'm not sure what he means.
Does that mean anything? I also like the fat one. Was like, well, I'm not fat. It's like, what does that have to do with anything?
I think he's trying to say he's in shape, right? I mean, like,
Listen, I spent this past weekend, I went to Great Wolf Lodge, which is an indoor water park.
mhm.
You know how many big fat guys I saw with beautiful wives where I was just
They
like,
probably have so much money.
no, they have so much something else. Like they're probably, because they're probably really good at, like, I don't know the relationship, but like,
yeah, we have no idea.
like it doesn't matter.
It come to attract a mate, it matters. Come on.
Yes. Yeah.
It does. Let's not bullshit ourselves here.
You know how many 27 to 33-year-olds who I've talked to who are like, yeah, dad bods are in now. That's hot. Like, okay, all right, cool. Like, I guess I'm into it.
So listen. I'm not saying there is not that aberration. Just like with guys, there's chubby chasers, right? That's an aberration, sure. But I'm just saying, forget everything mental. Just on a biological level, a guy who is just fine, designed to be fit, it's just more attractive than a guy who's 500 pounds, because that dude's gonna die real soon.
Adam, I am thick, THICC. Let me enjoy this.
It's attractive to be healthy, right? It's just attractive to be healthy, right?
Yeah, I'm medieval sexy.
Listen, you're born in the wrong century.
I certainly was.
Damn, yeah.
I'd be burned at the stake for being a wizard. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up for Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, go ahead and my final thoughts, my final point is, let whatever happens. I mean, don't go chasing waterfalls, like just let whatever happens. It's not going to be something that you need to force. It's not something that you need to like, hey, I need to earn a medal for all my friends to be like, yeah, Daniel. No, just chill, enjoy your life, and take your time. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're not going to know the answer to this, but it kind of matters why you're out there. Are you pissed that your relationship broke up? So you're just going to take revenge out on women through your dick? That's going to be unhealthy. Where if you're just like looking to have a good time, that'll be healthier. I mean, it also matters the unconscious motivations of why you're going out to have sex. Like some people will have sex because they're pissed at the world. So that's another reason there too. What I'm saying, like this survey doesn't capture that. Like, why did you have sex with 20 people, and why did you have sex with one person? Are you just freaking repressed? Like, we don't know. So take this study as data. Don't take it so serious. This is why one study doesn't mean anything in the world of science. It just means like, okay, now can we reproduce this 20 other times? That's all it means. So just take it easy. And anyway, like if you have the study, look at the bottom, if you marry someone with a 4-year college, it almost means the same happiness, like separation between someone who's been more promiscuous than not. So it's just a piece of the puzzle, man. Like, just take it easy. You're kind of feel like you've broken up. It's only been a year. You're kind of like absorbing too much at once. Just relax, go take care of yourself, build your business, and you'll find, a woman will come around, as long as she complements your life and you don't get all obsessed about her or obsessed about vaginas, dude, because you're fetishizing vaginas right now. They're a fetish and a totem to you right now. And that's not any good.
They're the magical being that we all hope for.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have to talk about fetishes and totems one day, because that means a lot, but
I can't wait.
We don't even got the time for that one.
All right.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. Okay. So, my name is Kendall. This has been Regamers Love. Okay, so you can find me at twitch.tv/RegamersLive. I play video games and a bunch of other stuff, and we talk about the same kind of things if you have any personal questions. And you can also find me on our Discord that my man Adam I eat civics because he eats delicious Hondas all the time. But nice and simple. You can also find me at TRegamers on Twitter. and any other questions, if anybody ever has anything that they would like to share or something that you'd like us to talk about, by all means, hit us up. We are very open to this. So, Adam, send us home.
So, Adam, y'all, you could find me, down below or wherever it's going to be, maybe annotations over here. We'll see how it goes.
Down below, you
Down below, you say. Oh, I should have called that one. I knew that was coming. Yeah, you'll find my site today. If you're looking for some one-on-ones, I also run groups for men and women where we deal with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. You'll find our YouTube where you're going to find all our videos that are going to be coming up. Yeah, have all our stuff down there, and you can just talk to us down there, ask us some questions, and we'll just dedicate some time to you, just giving our opinions, and I'll give a little bit of data, and we'll see how it goes.
And I'm going to drink and make fun of you and your relationship and whatever else we're going to do.
100%. We should just call this podcast At Least Two Drinks. See?
At least 2 drinks.
At least 2 drinks.
Just a tip.
Just a tip. No, come on. And with that, we'll see you next time, everyone.
Have a good night.
Take it easy.